Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the second edition of the Old Farts Show.
Thought you were going to get by with just one, didn't you?
Oh, this story's got multiple chapters. And we have Stallman Norman Eichel, we have John Byrne, and of course, Duane and I. And I'm going to start off today's show because John was not here for our first show, and I want to play a little catch-up with him and ask him a few of the questions that I asked these guys. So, with that in mind, John, where were you born?
Providence, Rhode Island.
And raised in the greater Providence area?
Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, Newark, New Jersey. Wow. That's a war zone down there.
Yeah, we got out of there. We moved to the burbs just when it was getting really bad.
And how'd you find your way to Norfolk?
By way of Rhode Island, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Norwalk, Connecticut, back in Rhode Island, then to not Westwood. I'm trying to think one other place. Oh no, Norfolk. That's right. So I'm in my second house in Norfolk.
And ensconced happily there with your charming wife, yes, Elaine.
That's right.
And who's a nurse down in Norwood Hospital, or a phlebotomist, or a technician, or whatever the heck she is these days. Right?
That's right.
And she drains my blood from time to time when I get down for my Monday tests.
She's good. She's got good technique.
She does.
You don't even feel the syringe going in.
Her and Jeannie are tops. Well, I'll tell you. You had a career with FM.
FM Global, yeah.
Yeah, a good many years.
Yeah. And
you're retired.
The second time, yes.
And enjoying life.
Yes.
All right. So I asked these guys a few just kind of general questions.
Sure.
When did you realize you were grown up?
Am I grown up? Somebody tell me.
Anything? We all agreed it was probably the Army that probably did it to us.
Well, that's as good as any. That was a real experience.
Yeah. Were you in the Army?
Yeah. Yep. I was in the Army Reserves. I did my active duty, but I did the 6-year obligation.
Up to Camp Drum?
Up to Camp Drum. Camp Drum twice, and then the third year we go to Dix. Then we'd alternate.
Well,
and I did it the hard way. I didn't get motor coaches. I was riding in the back of Deuce and a Halfs.
Oh my God! One of those convoys down the road. Those things are tough.
Posterior here.
Well, he owned one.
Yep. I used to drive in the front of it.
Well, at least I had cushions.
Yeah.
What was the happiest day of your life?
When I got married.
Yeah.
You
have to say that, right? We're in the men's union.
There's no gun to my head.
We didn't coax him.
Yeah, it was. I know on my wedding day I was, and we had a formal wedding. Her father carried a white shotgun.
No secrets here.
Where are you going home tonight to?
Funny story. We had these plans, Susie and I. No kids for 5 years. Travel, have fun, decide what we're going to do when we grow up and all that stuff.
Yep.
My son, Paul, was born 9 months and 9 days later after the wedding. 9 months and 9 days.
Somebody was good at counting.
Yeah. The restraint we showed was magnificent. But what was your first car, Joey?
First car was a 1955 Chevy 2-door coupe.
V8 or 6?
Oh, no, Ford. I take that back. It was the Ford.
55
The
Ford.
second one was the 55 Chevy, yeah. And in fact, I had 3 55 Chevys.
Kept on destroying them, huh?
Well, one was a gift I got as a temporary car before I went in on active duty. I blew the engine on that. I wasn't checking the oil on it, so that was.
55 was the first year they've had a V8, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yep.
The 265.
Yeah, 267.
65 engine.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, good memory. But yeah, it was the Ford. I got it from an uncle of mine, and it was it had the only thing different about it was it had a 57 Thunderbird engine.
Okay.
But it wasn't the 272. It was a 312.
312. Yeah.
312 engine.
That's the engine I had in my 60 Mercury.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a good engine.
Oh yeah.
Didn't do well on gas, but it was a good engine. Started and ran anyway. What is it about first cars anyway? You know, I bought my son a starter car. Remember the little Chrysler Plymouth vehicles that were kind of, looks like they were going backwards and forwards at the same time, subcompacts, little four-cylinder.
What year? How old?
Oh, let's see, this would have been 91 or 2 that I got it for him. Probably an 85 or something like that.
not ringing
Was it
a
a
bell.
Dodge Omni?
Oh, that was a small car.
Yeah.
That was an Omni.
Yeah, I think it was the Omni.
I got the Plymouth version of it, the same thing. Little four-cylinder. Never once checked the oil. Bang, the engine seized up after about, 2 months.
Oh man.
I said to him, "You checking the oil, right, Paul?" Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Always
Famous last word.
check the windshield wiper fluid. Oh, yeah, Dad. He didn't even know how to open the damn trunk. Hood.
Or bonnet, this would say.
Boy, oh boy.
So it's funny how guys remember their first cars, though.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of like their first girlfriend.
I think it's a bigger deal with us our age than it is with the kids today.
Yeah, probably is.
You know why? Because the cars today are more utilitarian.
Yeah.
They're bland.
Oh, they're just generic.
They're, transportation.
Oh, we live for that car.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my 53 Oldsmobile 98.
52 Chevy.
You could probably put 6 people in that thing.
I tell you what, you put 6 gallons of gas in it every time you turn the key.
Oh, yeah.
That sucker boy. Hey, do you know what? I had a Pontiac later, a 73, and that was 74. That was the year before catalytic converters, and they were piping them up madly. And the gas was, I got 7.5 miles to the gallon on that thing.
No kidding.
Yeah, big Catalina station wagon. 7.5 miles to the gallon.
That was a big car, too. Wow.
Boy, did that take the old
Gas was
gas.
cheap
Woo.
back then.
Yeah, thank God for that. So, John, when you and Elaine go out for dinner, what's your favorite restaurant?
Oh God, I like the one down here on
Horse and carriage.
Horse and Carriage. Yeah, I like that. And there's another one called it's in Rentham Center. It's got a courthouse kind of name.
Oh, okay.
Can't think of the name of it.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Food is good, the prices are good, and it's usually packed.
Oh, wow.
The Gavel.
The Gavel. I've never eaten there.
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
good.
either.
I'll have to bring the bride over there. And what's your pig out food? What do you look forward to having when you go there?
When I go there, well, the guy's good. He experiments a lot with different types of he'll cook fish and cognac and different things and I don't think I've had the same thing twice.
Oh,
in that
okay.
place. So I've been there maybe about 6 or 7 times.
You're one of these brave guys that samples everything.
Well, yeah, he does really well. It's a good place to go to.
3 of us agreed it was prime rib.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I like prime rib too. Actually. I eat more fish and chicken than anything.
Yeah. I don't like I don't like anything healthy.
I think that's pretty universal. Mostly green, too.
What's your favorite flavor ice cream?
Vanilla. Boring as hell. Oh, excuse me. Can I say that on television?
No, it's
Boring is okay.
Boring as
Yeah. I picked chocolate. You picked Heavenly Hash.
Heavenly hash.
And
Breyer's vanilla with the little beans in it.
Yeah.
Little
Yeah,
black specks.
yeah,
Well,
that's
a
good. That's good
I
stuff.
always thought of that as mosquito droppings.
Or mouse.
Yeah, mouse, yeah. What is the most beautiful thing or scene you've ever seen?
Most beautiful thing?
Yeah, or scene, or scenery, or a building that astounded you, or a painting, or a young lady, or...
Oh, what did we?
We can't go there?
Careful.
I'll be in trouble. I like Leonardo da Vinci did a painting once, and it's the one where it shows the man, and he's like this in different directions. I don't know if you've ever seen that.
I'm not sure that I have.
I like that. Definitely like that.
One of the things, when I was in Amsterdam, Holland, I went to the Rijksmuseum
Yes.
and saw Night Watch
Yeah.
by Rembrandt.
Yeah.
You know, it's huge. And the work that went into that, you know, you can stand there and look at it for 2 hours and still not
Different things.
absorb the whole thing.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Do you have hobbies, John?
Not so much. I used to be cars most of the time, but that's changed a little bit. Cars are so generic and they're so boring now. You can't do anything with them, so you might as well bring them back to the dealer.
You can look at them and wash them. That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it.
I don't believe in that sort of thing. God, it rains often enough, and God washes my car for me. Who am I to intrude on His work?
And I
know?
can always find a puddle, and drive through it. It's
muddy,
through it fast
though,
enough, it just throws it up anyway.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I used to travel a little bit. I always enjoyed that. I don't travel as much as my wife does, but I've always enjoyed that. And that's meeting new cultures, seeing places you've never been to before.
Your wife is amazing. She's been every place in the world 8 times.
We were just talking about that. She doesn't. I don't think she has a bucket list anymore because it's empty.
She's a hot ticket. So, are you a reader?
No, I'm not much of a reader. The only stuff I would read is like I used to read like business stuff, technical stuff, but technical stuff not in 28 pages, like synopsis. You know, the shortened versions enough so you get the gist, and when you want to get more information about it, you dig. But no, that's about it.
Because working for an insurance company and being an engineer, you're going to dig deep into certain subjects.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, sometimes my wife goes, "That's boring. How can you read that?" Like we'll talk. Hon, you know what the newest thing is that you got to be afraid of now is sinkholes. They're starting to happen, and there's some big ones, real big
There was
ones.
a special on
This
last
is only
night
this is only the
before.
beginning,
Yeah.
but stuff like that was always interesting, especially with the hazards and stuff.
It's not too interesting when your car is in the sinkhole.
There's a special on right now called Sinkholes That Ate, or whatever ate Florida or something. And they show these
Oh
things
yeah, I
like,
saw the ad for that.
boy, it's just pieces of houses and garages and cars falling in these things.
It's scary. I mean,
You
some
can't
of
do
them are
anything about
huge.
it either. It's just gone.
Oh yeah.
Norm, are you a reader?
Yes, I like Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy.
Yeah,
All right.
I think
Up to a certain point, I think I read all his books.
I think
in fact, I know damn right
I'm
well I
getting
did.
close to reading all
Yeah.
of his books.
It seems as though, I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago, he started getting paid by the word and wasn't really the content anymore.
But the characters he has and the story, I just love it.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Duane, I know that
We
you
read.
are
Yep.
a reader.
I read mostly nonfiction, but if I go to the fiction, I've read everything Stephen King wrote. Mm-hmm. And I got to him, found him by accident. Monica had a Cosmopolitan magazine, and he had a Salem's Lot done in Cosmopolitan, the first one published. I picked it up, started reading it, and scared the hell out of me. And it was a thing about vampires, and this little kid turned into a vampire. And I'm reading it on a couch at night, and the wind's blowing, and we had a rhododendron outside the window, and it was scraping on the window. I'm out of here. I went upstairs. I said, Monica, move over. I said, I ain't reading down there anymore.
Scared yourself to death.
Yeah, I did.
I like to read in bed before I go to sleep. Not long, maybe a half an hour or so, or until my finger gets tired.
Yeah.
One or the other, yeah.
Did you ever drop the book on your face? It was like this. And bam.
No.
You fall
And
asleep.
in fact, I'll tell you something else amazing, too. And of the four of us, I'll bet you I'm the only one. I have never fallen asleep any place except the bed.
Oh, my God.
You weren't in the military then. were you?
Oh, I was.
He was.
You couldn't sleep anywhere in the military? I could.
These guys sleep any place.
Yeah.
I couldn't. I can't. Now, let me amend that just a little bit. I've slept on a couch. I've slept on the floor. But I have never fallen asleep when I wasn't lying down. Ever. No, you guys that can sleep in chairs
Yeah.
amaze
Yeah.
me.
Oh, I got recliner. That thing's got. I think I
be
got a
deadly.
switch in my butt. I sit on that thing and boom. I want to watch something on TV. Next time,
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Well, it's
That's
been
the
over
same way.
half an hour
Well,
already.
yeah, and in fact, I know you got a switch in your bum because Monica asked me to come over and see if the battery was good or not. Yeah, and I refused. Anyway, yeah, I'm a voracious reader, and I think I answered this last week, but if I didn't, I read lots and lots of everything all the time, mostly fiction. But I like the true stuff too, especially World War II or and I gave you a book the other day.
Yep.
Inside Story on the Mafia, stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff. But
A mafioso got bumped off last night in New York.
no.
One of the kingpins.
Really?
On his front steps in Long Island. Yeah, one of the bigwigs.
Wasn't in the Boston papers. It'll
more or
probably
less.
in tomorrow.
Yeah, it was on the news.
Oh, wow. That's, I've always been fascinated with that kind of stuff. Because I had a good friend at the Foxborough Company from Rhode Island. And he was raised on Federal Hill.
no
And
more.
his uncle had a drugstore. And as a kid in high school, his part-time job was working at the uncle's drugstore, sweeping it out and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. The back room is where the mafia met.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We used to go to Federal Hill a lot of times for dinner. at Camille's and what's the other one?
Camille's
Roman
Roman
Gardens.
Gardens.
Yeah.
And then across the street is Azuro Grotto.
Zero Grotto, yeah.
We went in there, another couple on it. We were kind of laughing about mafia and all that kind of stuff. And this is true. We're sitting at the bar, waiting for a table. There's two guys a little bit down the bar, and you could not hear their conversation. And he says, I told Louie, knock it off. They're going to bump you off if you don't stop that. And we kind of looked at each other, holy crap.
We in the right place?
I was sitting, and I forget which one of the restaurants it was, similar. It was a business meeting, and I got there earliest, and I was sitting at the bar having a beer, waiting for the rest of the crowd to come in. And out of nowhere, this guy came up to me and said, hey, knock off looking at me.
Yeah, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
I said, what? He says, yeah. He said, you heard me. Never mind looking at me. You hear me? I said, absolutely. In fact, I'll take my glasses off.
I'll break them in pieces and throw them on the floor.
Jeez, God almighty. I said to myself, what am I going to do? Eat here? You know, but, ay.
He's probably packing heat, too,
I'm sure he was packing something. Do you guys have a bucket list?
No.
Bucket list.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I'd like to go to one place I'd like to go to I haven't been to is Australia. I like that. I'd like to do that. I don't want to jump out of a plane or anything. I guess I really don't. The things I wanted to do I've pretty much done.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have, but now I just can't do it. I used to want to do these adventure type things.
Oh, yeah.
That went away with arthritis and everything else,
No, I've never had a formal bucket list, but I remember my wife saying to me, well, you're finally retired. What's the first thing you're going to do? I said, I don't know. She said, well, you've got to have some kind of plans or something. I said, well, I'll tell you what I'd like to do. I said, I would like to go back to Germany and I would like to go to France, to D-Day, and see Normandy Beach, and follow the troops inland, and break out and down through Bavaria to the Eagle's Nest. One of those tours. She says, that sounds great. I hope you have fun.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that was that. Okay, so tonight I've made reservations for the three of you at the Horse and Carriage.
Fantastic.
Okay?
Fantastic.
Separate tables.
Fantastic.
All right? And you can invite anyone you want, living or dead, to have dinner with you.
Tonight?
Yep.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Who would you pick?
This is if.
If.
No, this is hypothetical here.
Oh, pick a lane, of course.
Ever the diplomat. I don't know. Yeah, I tell you, if Donald Trump wants a new man for the United Nations,
Yeah,
boy,
it's
this
gotta be
guy
it.
is it.
Mein Schatzi, wife, in German.
All right, we'll just do this a little differently. Forget about that, both of yous.
Okay.
The wife stays home. She's going to watch Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. She's doesn't want anything to do with you two clowns. So who else are you going to take? You can't take Jesus Christ either.
I'd like to. I could take my son. I don't get to see him that often, so it'd be nice to get him in here from Colorado.
He's going to be in the Diplomats Hall of Fame. There's no doubt about it. Norman?
Well, I've got two sons that live right around here, and I would have a hard time picking one. And my daughter lives in Texas, so she's out. But I would pick whatever son I could get free would go with me, and that would be wonderful.
But you've had dinner and lunch with them for the last 40 years.
Well,
don't you think that isn't there anyone that you're curious about?
No.
No?
Ernest
I see you're in the diplomatic corps too.
Ernest Hemingway.
I just thought he was a unusual character. I think he could sit down on that table and entertain you for
spin
hours
some
and
yarns.
hours and
Oh,
hours.
I bet he could.
And if you're a female, even more hours.
Even more hours, yeah.
Yeah,
Would Bill Crane go, do you think, with me to the Horse and Carriage?
I would. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, if you were paying.
Oh, you said you were.
Oh.
We got to straighten that out.
That's
Well,
something
we don't have to pay ourselves, do
No,
we?
take it out of the slush fund.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Oh, there we go. I thought about this. There's so many possibilities, but I tell you who I would love to have dinner with would have been Ronald Reagan or Barry Goldwater.
There you go.
They're
My
all
two
booked
political
up.
heroes.
They're all booked up these days.
Yep,
Hard to get a hold of. Hard to get a hold of.
they're in Congress up there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Massachusetts is a mess, I guess. So tonight at the Horse and Carriage, instead, you're going to have dinner with Governor Baker. What are you going to tell him?
First thing I'm going to do is ask him how tall he is.
6'5".
6'5". He's a monster. He's
Yeah.
tall. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Second thing I was going to say, when are you going to do something about these, pardon my French, potholes? Potholes.
Yep.
You can go even way beyond that and go into like infrastructure, but that's more of a national kind of thing. But some of the roads, the potholes, they're terrible.
Well, they get highway funds from the state, the towns, and of course the state goes out and repairs the state roads. But you got a valid point. I mean, we should be looking at more money in the highway funds, it seems to me.
Well, that's a comment I get. We have a lot of out-of-town relatives that don't live in the East, and they think, boy, it's nice around here, but your roads are terrible. They're all broken up. There's potholes everywhere. She said, don't you ever repave anything?
You know, I've heard that complaint all the time down south.
Yeah.
They don't have snow and snow plows and frost heaves down south.
Right.
No wonder their roads are in good shape.
Sure.
Except
right.
Louisiana. That's the worst in the country.
Louisiana, yeah.
But they have a reason. Somehow their subsoil is porous or soaks up water, it soaks up a lot of the moisture, and then it kind of moves.
Yeah, I swear most of Louisiana is below sea level anyway.
Yeah.
Norman, what are you going to tell Governor Baker?
Well, I'm going to tell him that this isn't the worst state in the country. There's a lot of others that are much worse. And I like being here. I'm in southern New England, so the winters are a little bit less violent than they are in northern Maine. And I love northern Maine. So I'd say, hey, keep on keeping on. We're not all that bad.
He is. He's going to go to the United Nations.
Another one.
Yeah, another one. Boy, I'll tell you. What would you tell him, Duane?
Clean house on those damn judges.
Yeah.
That you got out there we don't have any appetite for punishment. Just
the
let him
American
go, let him
people
go,
don't
let him
have
go.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Massachusetts is terrible with that. You get a guy that shoots somebody, and in the paper, he's got a list of offenses that long that he should have been in prison for, but he's still on the street.
Catch and release.
Yeah, exactly. Get rid of that stuff.
What that guy Newsom is talking about out in California. He's talking about eliminating the death.
Well,
Death
yeah,
penalty,
basically what he's done is he has said we're not going to execute anybody else. We're shutting down the gas chamber and a moratorium on capital punishment. Well, they haven't killed anybody out there for years.
Yeah,
and they
I
got
know.
700 odd guys on death row. And they're not moving towards executing any of them. So this is just a political stunt. He'll be announcing that he's going to run for president in a couple of weeks. But that's just simply not realistic. He floated that out there just to get his name in the paper. I swear. I think ill of all politicians, but. So, Duane, you did. You told me what you were going to tell Governor. I was just thinking, I would probably try to enter into some sort of a discussion with him about taxation. You brought up a great point, the roads.
Yep.
But, we can't get that done by magic.
Oh, no.
So it perhaps, and I think a subject that's being debated in the House of Representatives and the Senate is the gas tax. Our gas tax is low compared to a lot
it's
of
on the
the
lower
country.
second half.
Yeah.
Of the way.
Yeah.
Now that's a good point because gas prices fluctuate up and down and up and down.
Kind of seesaw,
And this week it might drop 6-7 cents. What's the difference? Who is going to care if you put 2-3 cents a gallon tax on it? And that's enough in this state to fix these roads. But people go crazy. They think, oh my God, 2 cents on a gallon?
Of all the hypocrites we have in Massachusetts, the leading group of the liberals, they want this program, that program, this program,
But they don't want to pay
that
for it.
program. Oh yeah, well they don't want to pay for it. No, don't you touch my taxes. No. You're not going to tax us. No, we don't want that. Well, who the hell's going to pay for it? Is it going to be magic?
Yeah,
I mean, does money grow like cabbage in your backyard?
Not the last time I looked.
I look every time I go by your house. I don't see it either. But
That's true. You got to pay for it somewhere.
That's it.
And we all bear some of the responsibility. So instead of just bitching about it all the time,
now the gas tax, there's one neat facet about it, and that is the users of the road
Yep.
are paying
ones
for
that are
the
paying,
upkeep
yeah. That's-
through the gas tax.
that's equitable.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the big trucks, you tax them at a much higher rate because they do more damage to the roads
yeah,
than the cars.
absolutely.
But it's the users that are paying for the upkeep of the road. Seems to me that is a fair and equitable way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
However, leave it to the legislature.
Oh, my God.
These guys. You know what they're talking about now into the State House?
No what?
Indexing an increase for the gas tax. So as the cost of living goes up, the gas tax goes up.
With it.
Yeah. Now, why, now you guys are bright guys, why would that appeal to politicians?
Because they're not responsible for it.
They don't pay tax.
He's close.
You can't say
Because
you
they-
raise the taxes.
Because they don't have to vote for
That's
it
right, but they're
year
not
after
responsible.
year to adjust it upwards because they don't have the backbone to do it. I got to get reelected. I got to protect my pension. My kids are going to want a job in the state police. I got to stay in office, and I can't go raising taxes. But if they set a mechanism in place that automatically raises the gas tax.
Ain't my fault.
They did that years ago. It wasn't me. I mean,
That's why they're politicians. They come up with all these great ideas.
I'm telling you. Well, all right. I think I would talk to the governor about that, and also mention to him that we're kind of getting off the beaten path here with our politicians. Ayanna Pressley, who is down in the House of Representatives now, she defeated the long-term guy from, Charlestown or something in there, Malden, yeah. She's down there. And
She's a
now-
Looney Tune.
Yeah, and she has now suggested we allow 16-year-olds
Yeah.
to vote.
That's her latest.
Oh, I heard that.
You know, the Globe actually had an editorial that made sense 2 days ago about this.
My God.
They said this is the most stupidest idea we've ever heard, because kids 16 years old are more concerned who's going to ask me to the big dance than they are anything else.
I was always concerned
Yeah,
about
but
that.
they said if this passes, can what's her name, the singer, Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift.
Can Taylor Swift running for president be far behind?
Yeah.
Because that's who they'd nominate, and that's who they'd vote for, the 16-year-olds.
It's insidious. I mean, do you remember way back in the dark ages when you were 16? I mean, do you?
Yeah, I can.
Do you
I was
think?
more concerned with how am I going to get gas to feed the beast in my car, or how to put a new upholstery in it or something, and then let the testosterone run its course.
Yeah, I was busy.
We were concerned who would sell us a six-pack.
Yeah. God. You know, oh, the six-pack. You know, people have, back in my drinking days, were amazed that I would take beer and just knock it right down, one after another.
You're a better man than I.
But think about this. We bought a six-pack and took it for a walk in the woods, and we had to drink it before it got warm.
Yeah.
So that whole habit was formed early in life, because there's nothing worse than a mouthful of warm beer, I'll tell you.
That's terrible.
Oh, God. All right.
How about, John, you just went to Cuba. Give us a little insight on Cuba.
Oh yeah, I was going to do a couple of other things
Okay, go
first,
ahead.
but you know what? I think it's time to talk about Cuba.
Cuba.
Yep.
I've heard of that. It's a relatively small island, about 90 miles off the coast from Havana to Miami. I think it's like 90 miles.
For folks, John and his wife are travelers, and John went to Cuba recently. How about that? What do you got to tell us about Cuba?
I took back a shirt that has Che Guevara on there, one of the rebels, but I don't know if I'm going to be wearing that around town. Somebody may decide to take a shot at me.
You know, they teach so little history in the schools
They would
that
get
they
to know
would
who it
think
was.
it's a basketball player that plays for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good trip. Of course, it's communist. That hasn't changed. They follow Marxists more than anything.
Now, did you fly down, John, or did you go on a boat around it?
No, we flew down to Miami, and we took off from Port of Miami to that. And it's so close off the coast there. But it was a good trip. Of course, education and healthcare is nationalized. So depending on who you talk to, you get different stories. But it was definitely interesting. I got to say, those people are resourceful. They're really. I'll tell you, you talk about them people having recycling skills and stuff. They recycle everything. They have to.
Yeah, a necessity.
Oh yeah. I mean, they still have things like you want to what do you call it? You want to go grocery shopping. You go to a store, and the store there ain't much in it, and you got to have your ration card, and you go through that whole process. But
You know, if we ever have World War II over again, I got my grandfather's ration cards from World War II. I
really?
still have them, yeah.
oh God.
I'm all set. I don't know what you guys will eat, but no coming up to my house either.
We had, as I told you, we had one of the coolest things they have is the cars, the old cars.
Yeah.
And it's like going into a time warp. It's like the clock is stuck on 1959 or early 60s and stuff. But we went for a ride in a 53 Ford, red Ford. That was a hardtop, but it was made into a convertible. And then we ran into another car that had a Mercedes-Benz engine. It was in the Chevrolet with a Mercedes engine and stuff. But people make so little money there that they were saying some people, they were talking about one guy was an accountant, and the guy was making something like 30 pesos. A peso, supposed to be equitable with a dollar, if he quit his job, he could make more money. Driving the cars around, acting as taxis and stuff. So whatever they can do, they do. They'll think nothing of, and it's all regulated and stuff. But some people have actually turned over parts of their house into take one room or something, or knock down a wall, make a little kitchen out of it, and a restaurant and stuff, so people can go in there and they make money that way.
Yep.
Amazing.
So oh yeah.
They do what they have to do.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's really incredible. I missed a cigar tour, but my wife saw it. She said it was almost like you walk into this place and there's long lines of tables, and it's almost like you heard about stories about child labor in New York City years ago. Well, they'd have women there and guys, and one would be rolling the cigars, one would be putting the filler in, getting that ready, and then the wrap and that sort of thing. But she said there's a skill. They've got a bunch of ladies at the end of the line who are so good at this, and they've been doing it for so many years, that there's something like 45 or 50 shades of tobacco color, and that goes into the grading of what's good, what's better, what's best, that sort of thing. So that's pretty cool. So they've probably got a job for life. We went to a banana plantation. One thing they talked about was we noticed that there's a lot of land that's not being used, and we're going down the highway, and the guy was saying the government is trying to encourage increase in birth rates so they can get more people in, who will go to school or go into farming and stuff, because a lot of the stuff is just there. It's potentially productive land, but nothing's being done with it. So it's kind of interesting. But then there's the rum, and I think the biggest thing they do other than tourism is sugar, because they have the sugar cane there. So it was an interesting trip. It really was.
Now, did you have the sense that people would talk to you freely, or were they very guarded in what they would say to you?
Most of the people, I think, were a little guarded. I was starting to talk to one kid or something. He was looking at my watch. It's a watch my wife got me in Germany. And he goes, he wanted this watch. At least I thought that's what he was saying. But that wasn't what he was saying. He showed me his watch, his batteries. His batteries were going in the watch. So what he was saying, what he was trying to get across was, why don't you give me the batteries from your... So I was kidding him. I said, what am I going to do without batteries? But yeah, there were people there who you could tell they were talking a party line, if that's what you want to call it. But medical care is, I guess at the end of the day, you could say, I almost got one guy to say, you get what you pay for, even when it comes to like medical care. Because I mean, again, it's nationalized and stuff, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like here, where we get things when we need them for the most part.
That's
There,
right.
it's a different story. They got to wait.
You know, the talk of socialized medicine here in the U.S., but over in Great Britain, the national health care, the waiting lists over there are incredible. I saw some stuff, and I think it was in the Wall Street Journal
Even
not
Canada.
too long ago. Yeah. I mean, if you want to see an orthopedic surgeon, maybe to talk about your knee or your hip, 9 months before you can get an appointment.
You could be dead before.
Yeah. You get gangrene and the stupid leg would fall off by then, you know.
Man.
But it's incredible the way that works. And in Canada, you got the same thing. You've got the wait list. But in Canada, you got something that the Brits don't have.
What's that?
The ability to come across the border,
the border,
into
yeah.
Windsor, Detroit.
Canadians will buy a U.S. insurance policy,
Yeah.
medical insurance. If they really need something, they could just go across the border and get it. Instead of waiting, like he said, 9 months
Yeah,
or something.
I mean, a guy needed open heart surgery, or he was going to die. Okay, and they hung some stupid date on him, like 5 months away for an appointment. Went to Windsor and was operated on 3 days later.
No kidding.
And that's commonplace. That's the big thing in Windsor, the medical business. You come over, you get, as Duane says, you get an insurance policy, or you get cash. Either way, either one works. You come over and you get operated on. Bango.
Well, these people in Cuba, they were saying a lot of them want to get out, would like to get out of there. Somebody had told us that they process almost 500 visa applications a day that they want to get out. I don't know how many people actually are successful.
3.
Yeah, probably. But it's and other things they were saying, like there are people who are skilled, like accountants or even medical people and stuff. They make so little money.
Yeah,
that
so little money.
They don't do it
That's-
anymore.
yep.
They do something else. They'll get these taxi cab cars,
Yep.
and it's amazing. And I've heard different figures, but some people said that the average pay scale for somebody is 20 to 30 pesos
Yeah, but
a month.
yeah, $20, $30 a
And
month. That's
peso,
typical.
Yeah, equal to $1 roughly,
Yeah.
something like that. So it's amazing. But you see people, but they seem to be in good spirits and stuff, and they're friendly. Of course, they want to protect the tourism industry because it brings so much money in.
Yeah, when you tip them a couple of bucks,
Oh,
holy
they're-
cow.
they're happy
I
about
mean,
that.
that's unbelievable to them.
Yeah.
And it's now the police presence or the military, was that obvious?
Didn't see any military.
No,
Didn't really see any police.
really?
Yeah, we what do you call it? We stayed out. It was a cruise, so we were on the boat at night, in the morning. Then if we had an excursion, then we left the boat and we went on land and stuff. But I can't say I saw. There may have been 1 or 2 cops there or something, but no. I mean, I've been in countries. I can remember I was in Spain. That was years ago when Franco was still around. When in the hotels, they at night on the beach, they had they had the Jeep go back and forth with a gun mounted on it. So, and I've been to Italy, where you've seen the Red Brigade was the terrorist organization. You had to worry
Or
about
Mexico, the federales there. Every
and
half a
now-
mile, you got them standing by the road.
Oh yeah, but you go to the airports and these guys, they got everything. They got all kinds of ammo and special guns and stuff like that. So, but it was surprising though. A person who goes to school and stuff and eventually takes the Hippocratic Oath at some point and stuff would leave the profession because there's not enough money in it. You can't support a family. It's hard to believe. It's so different.
Amazing. How did they feel about Americans?
I didn't see anything negative. I mean, again, we had interplay with them. If they wanted to sell you something, those were mostly kids and stuff. But other adults and stuff, or if you went and you wanted to have something to drink, like you can't get Diet Coke there. It was funny. I went into it was really hot one of the days we were there, and we ended up going in this lady's house, and we sat down in what once was her living room. She turned it into like 3 or 4 table restaurant. So, and you can't get Diet Coke. You can get the government version of that, which looks different than the container and stuff, but it's not Diet Coke. And they said they won't allow it because it's American. They won't allow it. So
But sugar's one of their biggest businesses.
Oh yeah. And what do you call it? if you're gonna see any vehicles, any new vehicles, they're Ladas, which are Russian made. But other than that, it's amazing. You go down the road, or even on the highway, we notice there's so little traffic.
Yeah.
You get in downtown Havana where they've got the taxis and stuff. That's one thing. But just going out to the countryside or going somewhere, it's like no cars.
Can't afford
How
the
do people
gas.
get around? Yeah, gas, or they can't afford a car. And so there's a lot of differences. But again, I gotta say, I was impressed with the things. But when there's a will, there's a way to make things stretch a buck.
Do you think that this regime, the Castro and his brother, over the years that they've been there, would have stayed if the United States wouldn't have isolated them so bad? That the problem with the Cubans, I saw, they didn't know how bad they had it because they were isolated.
Well,
Like the North Koreans.
Yeah, like North Koreans.
But and everything's controlled too, like the media. And
but
stuff,
if they'd opened
they'll
that,
tell
if
you-
we'd
let you
opened
know
that
what
up
they
and
want
had
you to know.
tourists going in and out, and they'd see people from other parts of the world coming in and out and saying, "Hey, we want what they got," then you get discontent, and things start to change. But if you don't, people don't know what's going on in the rest of the world.
You know, Cuba was a terrific place.
Oh, it was the playground of the rich and, and mafia.
Yeah.
in the 50s.
But people prospered under it. They had jobs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Granted, those connected that cooperated with the U.S. gangsters, they made out like a champ, but it all filtered down to the people.
The economy.
They had food. They had houses. But now we strangled them with the boycott of all their goods and all of that, and but we never broke them. They still propped up by the Russians, of course.
Well, we'll see.
And if the Russians weren't propping them up, that all would have collapsed a long
I think
time
you're right.
ago.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're right. Oh yeah, so Raul's not there. They got the top guy.
Yeah, Raul's brother.
Yeah. And so it was, like I said, it was a fun trip, but it was a bit of an eye opener. I'd never been to a communist country before, so it was, again, I was pretty curious about that. But even property, I mean, even Russia's another example too, where it wasn't that long ago when the concept of private property was non-existent.
Yep.
But a lot of these places where these people live, they don't own it, these houses and stuff. And so, and the government keeps a close eye on that. There was another thing they were talking about. They were talking about religion, and religion has come back in the past maybe 10 or 20 years pretty strongly. But they said, but not too strong. And I was saying, well, what do you mean? What do you mean by that? And they said, well, don't forget, the government doesn't want to be more popular. Doesn't want the church to be more popular than the government. So you got to be careful. So
Amazing.
It's funny. It's funny.
But you enjoyed it.
Yeah, we enjoyed
It was an eye-opener.
Oh yeah, definitely was.
What's the next trip?
Well, we won't be going to Australia. So my wife's next trip, I think she's going to Scotland.
I think that's what you told me, yeah.
Yeah. But I do the easy travel. I do when we go to see my son in Colorado or friends in Florida. I do the
There you
easy-
go. You can
I
handle
do the
that
easy
stuff.
Yeah. I hate packing. Packing and unpacking. It's one of the things that just drives me nuts.
She told me that she's been to London 14 times or some such number.
Yeah. They went to, where did they go? They went to London for shows.
Yeah, right.
Broadway.
In the West End, yeah.
She did that. They went to. They've been to other places in Europe for like the Christmas season. So she went to Bora Bora. That was the last one.
I haven't talked to her for a while. I got to get her schedule figured out.
I don't even have it. I wonder, where are you going? It's almost like, what are you doing this week? Are you working? Are you traveling? What's going on?
Oh, maybe we can hang out.
Yeah.
There's one trip that she took that I not on the bucket list, but she went to the Hermitage thing in Russia, where the what do you call those eggs? The Fabergé eggs are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the nested.
Yeah, she went.
Yeah.
She went to see that, and Putin grew up there. That's where he came. That's where he came
Oh,
from
okay.
originally. Amazing. It's a big world, boy. I'll tell you.
Boy, it sure is.
there's a hell-
She's going to get every corner of it, though.
Oh,
That's great. All right, let's see what's on the next page here. Besides sports, has anyone discovered anything on television worth watching?
The History Channel.
Yeah.
I see
Travel
the
Channel's
military once
good.
in a while.
Yeah.
I do that. Smithsonian? Is there a Smithsonian?
Yeah, Smithsonian's got some great stuff right now, and there's a new series coming. I think it's on the Smithsonian.
And The Curse of Oak Island.
Oh yeah,
It was on and on.
3
and
years
on.
now I've been watching
Yeah.
that. I still haven't found anything.
Right. It's fun to watch, though.
Yep.
Then I've been missing it all.
Yeah, there is some real junk on television. It's amazing, and it's amazing when we grew up. I think I grew up in New Jersey. We had like 5 TV stations.
Yeah.
And you had to actually get up off your chair.
Oh, yeah.
And change the channel.
Yeah.
And then change the antenna around, too.
Oh, yeah.
Rabbit ears.
But now we've got with those cable TV, you got hundreds of
Oh, God.
stations, and a lot of it is just junk.
It's just junk.
Junk.
It goes on and on.
You know,
and on.
I'm paying for about 200 channels.
Yeah, easy.
And I've watched about 6 of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Oh,
the same with all
yeah.
of us. Yeah.
I mean, I watch the news and sports and a couple of the political talk shows and the weather. After that, that's about it. I've got to broaden my horizons. When's the last time you went to the movies?
We went a week ago. We saw Jonathan, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but it was the one where there was a guy who was a pianist, an African American, and he hired this guy to take him around to all his to all his concerts and stuff, driving. And the guy was the driver. Was a guy named
Yeah,
Viggo Mortensen. I think his name.
I didn't see it, but I saw the reviews on it.
That was a good
Was it a good
movie.
one?
That was one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Mortensen should win some awards. It was really that was it.
Norman, when's the last time you went to the movies?
When I went to Texas, we had a free day, and we went to the movies, and I paid for my ticket, and the lady behind the counter says, "Where do you want to sit?" I said, "Well, anywhere, and it'll be fine." "Oh, but you have to select a seat with a number on it." Oh, okay. So I picked the number, and then went in, and we saw this terrible movie, How to Train Your Monster
Dragon.
Dragon. How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, bringing up kids.
It was terrible. It was very violent and noisy and everything, but we thought it was a kids' movie. Well, it's a very poor kids' movie, so don't bother going to see it.
I'll tell you about that in a second.
We have not been to the theater for quite a while, in that we've got Hulu, Netflix, all the other the streaming channels. I mean, there's not hardly a movie out there that within 2 or 3 months is not on one of them. It's Netflix or Hulu or one of them.
That's a lot cheaper than $16 for a seat at the
Oh yeah,
movie theater.
but even then we don't. We just don't get into it. It's all that's there, and we thought, well, why don't we just watch a movie? And then I said, all right. Then neither one of us falls asleep, and it doesn't.
You know, my wife goes to the movies occasionally with her friends or something like that. I can't tell you the last time I went to a movie.
I can't tell you the last time I saw one of these Oscar award winners.
Yeah.
It comes and goes. We didn't see any of them. We don't. First of all, we're probably just lowbrow enough that we don't appreciate some of those movies that they put out there.
Well, that's my excuse, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't drag me kicking and screaming to some of those boring things.
Well, some of the other things I find too with these new stars. It seems as though when my generation was younger, you'd get to know stars and you get instantly recognizable for whatever reason. Today, I don't know any of them.
I don't either.
I look at them and go, who's
Bill.
this? Who's that? What's
Okay.
Well, as I say, I don't remember the last time I've been to the movies, and I haven't missed it. But, John, do you dream?
Do I dream? Very rarely.
Okay.
Very rarely.
Norman?
Every night.
Really?
I dream about something, but it's just bland, nothing. I can't remember it when I wake up in the morning, but I can remember seeing and doing things. They were just ordinary things that everybody does, and I immediately forget it.
Oh yeah, I like John does. I have a lot of, or like Norman does. I have a lot of dreams, and the recurring theme is over and over. And one of them is they're frustrating. So I can't find my car in a parking lot, and I know I parked it there, and it's gone. But I find that I saw a show one time, and they listed that. Not graduating from high school or college because you screwed something up. That's a common dream. Or you go someplace and you don't have any pants on. Why didn't I wear pants?
Oh, I had one that was really weird. It was occasionally when I was younger, I could fly.
Fly. That's a common one too. Yeah.
But the other thing, when I do dream, I dream in color.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
But it's so seldom.
Now that's great. I used to have a recurring dream that it was a magic tunnel under people's front yards, and I could get up into their houses, and I was invisible, and I could watch them.
I believe it.
Yeah. But when I dream, but like Norman, very rarely do I remember. When I first wake up, I do, but by the time I get a piece of paper and a pencil, it's gone.
Your brain does not retain dreams very well.
Yeah.
They're real shallow impressions.
But my dreams are amazing because I end up in two places. There's only two in my dreams. Hohenfels, Germany, when I was in the Army, and the Foxborough Company, my first job in the stockroom.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the two places I end up. That's amazing. I don't know. Well, have you ever had a paranormal experience, a ghost?
No. Although
Yes.
I'd like to, because I believe
You have?
Yes. Boston Light. When I was in the Coast Guard, I got up early one morning with my camera, and I took pictures of the sunrise through the Frenzel lens. And while I was there, I got this cold feeling. I could hear taffeta rustling. Now, how often do you hear taffeta rustling?
Not often, is my experience.
Because I knew there was a presence there, and I had this cold feeling. And it was such a beautiful sight of the sun coming up and everything. I just went back down to the lower ground. But that was the one and only time.
Wow.
So watch out for taffeta.
Well, okay, we just got, she just put the thing, stop talking stupid sign up.
Shut your mouth.
So obviously I've got to do something here.
She's shaking her head in there.
Otherwise she'll be after me with a stick. So folks, I hope you enjoyed a get-together with four old farts. And I've got an awful lot of other stuff to talk about. Hopefully that'll embarrass these guys. And I want you to tune in a couple of weeks, and we'll see about what we can do about uncovering some more things.
Today's Happy Pie Day, by the way.
Yes, it is.
3/14.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And that's why I had apple pie for lunch yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for tuning in, and please catch us next time.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.